My dear sisters and brothers in Christ, in today's Gospel, Jesus speaks to his disciples about the end times of wars, earthquakes, persecutions, and the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. For many, such a passage sounds frightening, but Jesus' message is not one of fear. It is one of faith and perseverance. He does not reveal these things to terrify us, but to strengthen us, so that when trials come, we do not lose heart. As Pope Benedict XVI once said, Christian hope is never mere optimism. It is the certainty that God holds the future in his hands. Jesus reminds us that even when the world seems to fall apart, God remains our refuge and our rock. When Luke wrote his Gospel, many of these terrible events had already happened. The destruction of Jerusalem in the year 70 AD was one of the darkest moments in Jewish history. The magnificent temple, the pride of Israel, and the visible sign of God's presence was destroyed. Thousands died in the siege, and the survivors were scattered. To those who witnessed it, it seemed that God had abandoned his people. Yet even in such darkness, the early Christians found hope. They believed that God's presence was not tied to a building, however sacred, but to the person of Jesus Christ, who said, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." The true temple of God is no longer made of stones, but of living hearts filled with faith and love. The Church Fathers often reflected on this passage with profound wisdom. St. Augustine wrote, "The end of the world is every day for those who die to sin and live for Christ." He reminds us that Jesus' words are not just about the final judgment, but about the ongoing call to conversion. Every day, we are invited to let go of the false securities of this world, wealth, power, fame, and to place our trust in the things that do not perish. The destruction of the temple teaches us that no earthly things that last forever, only God's love endures. When we experience loss, suffering, or uncertainty, we are invited to build our lives on the foundation that cannot be shaken, Christ himself. Jesus also speaks of persecution. "You will be hated by all because of my name." The early Christians knew this reality well, yet Jesus gives them a promise. "Not a hair of your head will perish." This is not a denial of suffering, but an assurance that God's care goes deeper than death itself. St. John Chrysostom once said, "The faithful man, though he be surrounded by fire, remains unharmed, for his soul is safe in God." The Christian's strength lies not in avoiding suffering, but in trusting that Christ is with us in the midst of it. Our faith is tested in trials, but it is also purified and strengthened by them. As we approach the end of the liturgical year, the Gospel invites us to reflect on the meaning of time and eternity. Our lives, too, have an end, and we do not know when. Yet the message of Jesus is clear: do not fear. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Each day is a gift to live with faith, to act with love, and to persevere with hope. When we stand firm in our faith, even in small daily struggles, we share in Christ's victory over fear and death. As Saint Teresa of Avila said so simply and beautifully, "Let nothing disturb you, let nothing frighten you. All things are passing. God never changes." So let us live with peaceful hearts, trusting in the Lord who remains with us in every trial. Even when the world trembles, even when the future seems uncertain, we hold fast to the promise of Jesus. By your perseverance, you will save your souls. May that promise sustain us in faith, strengthen us in hope, and keep us steadfast in love until the day we see Him face to face.